I've always wanted to do this. What up? What up? What up, world? This is Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm the Fantasy Rasta. This is Frank. We're here to break down the Friday Night Mocks. What's up, Frankie? How you doing tonight?
What's up, people? Doing good. You need to give us some more pizzazz, more enthusiasm.
Was it,
So
man?
what up, world? I
I
mean,
was
come
like
on.
excited, man. I was just overwhelmed by the opportunity to be able to say that. I'm stepping in here for our guest host for the show tonight. Dustin couldn't make it. We wish him the best. He'll be back soon. But tonight, this is going to be draft number 1 of night 2. Without any further ado, let's break it down.
All right, Anthony. So, how does somebody get into one of these drafts?
Yeah, man, you got to hit us up, add us on Twitter at Get Right Fantasy. You can leave a comment in this video. The first 10 to 12 people that sign up, we'll send you the link 15 minutes before so you can jump in, claim your spot, and the draft starts when the draft lobby's full. So come out and join us, man. A lot of fun.
You guys are getting into early drafting right here, even before the NFL draft has happened. So, all these mock drafts are just going to get you ready for the season when, it really starts happening.
Definitely. It gives you opportunity to practice different strategies, which we'll get to see here and what people do. And again, it just gets you comfortable with guys and where they're falling and how you can construct your team, especially at, different positions. So let's get into it, man. Pick number 1, Christian McCaffrey. You can't really argue that. Rounded out with DeAndre Swift in the second round. I maybe would have probably went Antonio Gibson here versus Swift, but
I was thinking the same thing, even though there's Joe Money Mixon's gone, Cam Akers, and then he goes with DeAndre Swift, and I would have definitely took either Antonio Gibson or Miles Sanders there.
yeah, and then there's even Eckler and CH and these guys down here, but yeah, that's probably where we go.
Josh
But who knows?
Jacobs, you know what I mean? Josh Jacobs would have been, but yeah, I mean, maybe he feels good about him, and that's why you took him in that spot.
Definitely, but pretty standard 2 running backs, as we like to say here on Get Right Fantasy, early and often. Then rounded out, went 3 wide receivers. This is a PPR, 10 teams, PPR redraft. So, he, went the smart route, getting those pass catchers with Steph Diggs, Kenny Galladay, Amari Cooper, easily the number ones on their respective teams, regardless of where you have them for projection. Then he went, quarterback here with Herbert.
In the
And
sixth round there.
yeah, so that's pretty nice there. I think you and
Yeah.
I kind of have him in our, top 8 at least,
Yeah.
if not better. And then went with another receiver here in CeeDee Lamb, probably best available. I don't really like grabbing 2 guys on the same
Yeah.
team, let
And I was
alone
about
2
to say,
pass
I like
catchers.
that pick.
Yeah,
I like that pick in that spot. That's amazing that he got CeeDee Lamb that low. However, having 2 Dallas wide receivers, uh, you know, just because of the target shares, the touchdowns you may get or may not get, that kind of type deal. But I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I'm more than happy to have him because I mean, you're only going to get hurt one bye week when they're both on a bye week. Now you're really looking, for your other, so paying attention to your bye weeks would help. You know what I mean? Along barring injury, right?
yeah, definitely. And but to me, it could be trade bait. CeeDee Lamb probably be popular in a lot of leagues, and so you're kind of just drafting best available there. And in that case, I love it. Already thinking maybe to package one of those 2, with something else to get somebody he really wants there. And then rounding out with Kenyon Drake and a guy I like, Frankie there, and Nerve Smith, taking over there for Kyle Rudolph.
So I think you could have got a Miles Gaskin in there, somebody else that fell to that spot that I would have been more comfortable taking running back right there, and then took that tight end or Smith right there is wow, that's a good pick. It's good,
Right.
for a tight end. I'd be happy to have him at that spot.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. So moving on here, we have the number 2 slot. Andrew, who writes our articles on GetRightFF.com. Make sure you check us out. And so he went out of the gate with Derrick Henry. Definitely a solid pick. Kind of shocked the world here with Lamar Jackson at his 2 spot. Maybe panicked with Mahomes coming off the board here around the turn on the 12, but we'll get to that. And then went Kittle. So you can see he kind of just went best available at each position, just making sure he's locking in top talent, kind of at that position. And then goes receivers with Evans and Thielen, kind of rounds it out with Connor. We kind of heard the news that he's visiting Arizona, still not sure where he's going to land. And, what can you say with Juju, Rogers, backing up, with Lamar and Gronk and Singletary. So
So
what do
see
you think of
see
this
what
team?
see I think he blew a wad and misfired at Lamar Jackson there. As you can
Yeah,
see, the only top wide receiver, quarterback that was taken was Mahomes at the beginning of the turn right here, and you could
not
have
until
got
round
he
6.
could have waited
Yeah,
to get Aaron Rodgers. Look where he got Aaron Rodgers at.
right,
You know what I mean? All he had to do was wait, and he could have got Aaron Rodgers at round 8 or whatever it is that right there. Uh, you know what I mean? Like that's where he, I think messed up. And I would have went another running back or another wide receiver there. Obviously, George Kittle's fine where he's at. Just the
right,
Lamar Jackson pick, I just felt was too early because look at everybody else. Nobody rushed to a quarterback for 3 rounds. There's
right,
no other quarterback for 3 rounds. That lets you know that everybody else that's drafting in this league is quarterback patient. They'll
right.
wait and get those wide receivers, running backs, or tight ends if they're the top tight ends. There's only 4 tight ends taken in that group. Look at it.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? All the way up to the 5th round there.
yeah.
And that's when they start falling. So he could have did the same thing. So, uh, I'm gonna give him a C. Yeah,
I I agree. Yeah, that's definitely something we wouldn't advise there. And and then double down on it as well, drafting 2 quarterbacks in the first 10 rounds. But hey, I'm not going to beat the guy up. He's been playing for a long time. Those positions do score the most out there, so you never know. All right, well, moving on, we have a returning drafter here, making it out for night 2. Shout out to Dim Boys,
them
Dallas
boys, huh?
Cowboys for
I'm a
life.
Cowboys fan. That's what's up.
Yeah, so shout out there. My man here went Dalvin Cook, which you can't argue. Those are
Yeah,
typically
solid.
the top 3 that are coming off the board. McCaffrey, Henry, Cook follows it up with the top wide receiver 1 and DeAndre Hopkins,
Hopkins.
followed by another
DK,
wide receiver
nice.
1 with DK. Yeah. And then what do you think about this running back selection there?
Najee Harris, wow. Hopefully it works
Leap of
out well for
faith,
him.
right?
Hopefully
Yeah.
it works out with him. I like the Miles Gaskin that's way further down. Like he might be his number 2 really coming up. You know what I mean? Honestly, he might rely on Miles Gaskin more than Najee, but who knows? You know,
Right.
it's
Unless,
let's see what happens.
right. Unless Najee, goes to Miami, then there might be a problem there with Gaskins. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but again, this is why we do these things this early, just to see where we're at.
yeah. It's
As
too
of
early
right
to
now,
tell
with the
anything.
information we have, yeah, things are always going to be changing here. But this is why you tune into us and keep going here. So after Najee, he went with that tight end Mark Andrews, who I think we both have in our top 5 there. Can't
Yeah, I think
complain
that's a
about
good
that.
spot for Mark Andrews. I think that's a good spot. Followed up with Russell Wilson.
Followed up, with Cooper Cup. Like you said, that nice pick in Miles Gaskin goes with Jalen Waddle here real late. That's what we call our little lotto tickets.
Yeah,
And went with one of
it's a nice
my,
pick. Harris.
not
Yeah,
to kind of put it out there, but one of my sleepers is Damian Harris.
yeah. He's
He's,
thinking that already. He's thinking sleepers and lotto picks already.
I like it. I like it. So shout out to Dim
I'll
Boys.
give him a solid
Hope
B
to see
plus
you.
on that one.
Yeah, there you go. Hope to see him out again here next Friday. So we'll look forward to it. So next year we have another returning drafter, an NY. Yeah, you're plugging Saquon in every week, and you're setting and forget.
Yeah, just like Nick
That's
Chubb, just like
and
Jonathan
you're
Taylor,
just rolling with
just
it.
like
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara right after him. Every one of these guys, you just plug and play. Every one of these guys till you get to Zeke,
and,
and then you worry about Zeke. What is he going to
yeah.
produce at the end of the year? You know what I mean? Like,
Ooh,
I'm a
spoken like a
Cowboys
true
fan,
cowboy
but
fan.
like, I'm worried about it. Like, is he going to come back to form? or is he going to be, really not being the guy that he could have been?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we'll get to that when we get to the Zeke team.
Yeah,
But for now, we got
let
Travis
me get
Kelce here
started.
coming out of round 2. I know, man. Got to get you on track here.
See, Travis Kelce, man,
Kelce in
a
round
tight end
2.
round 2.
And that's about right.
I'm not a fan of that. It is right, and it's
You can't.
he's basically a wide receiver one.
That's what I
I
mean.
I
Because
just
you go
don't
Devontae
like
Adams,
it, though. I just don't
AJ
like
Brown, and
it.
then Travis Kelce right here.
Because look at
And
where
you can,
look where my man Allen Robinson is in the 4th round here, which is incredible that he got him there. But I mean, his team's just like kind of weak on wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
and maybe it's a little bit better at running back because I tell you Gibson and Saquon, but I mean it's really light on wide receiver.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely, I think he got a nice little sleeper pick right here with Deontay Johnson going real late. Everybody's kind of sleeping on these guys. I think even Claypool got drafted even earlier than him
Yeah, I
up
mean I
here in
wouldn't.
the 8th. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't have
uh,
took Robert Tanyan where he took him, because again he already have Travis Kelce, and I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to back up his guy and everything else, but he still
yeah,
needed another wide receiver there. He could have took a Brandon Ayuk or somebody like that, Devontae
right,
Smith, OBJ even, or somebody in this
right,
area that he could have got over this Robert Tanyan guy. He didn't have to get a. You don't have enough. You only have one wide receiver. Why are you going to back up a tight end?
right. Especially when you got a tight end already early. So,
That's what I'm saying. Why
yeah,
would you get a backup tight end over having no other wide receiver? You literally only have one wide receiver. You got to start at least 2. Now you're
right,
starting at what? Rashard Bateman
right.
as your number
But
2 wide
one
receiver?
thing, one thing I did like though is he did go running back every other pick. So Barkley,
Yeah.
Gibson,
Well, that's
Montgomery, Gordon.
kudos for that. But I mean, at one of those,
Right,
he had to switch over to a wide receiver, and I think
right.
either the Melvin Gordon pick or
Or
definitely the
this
Robert
Kyler
Tanyan
Murray
pick.
pick. Or this
Even
Kyler
definitely
Murray
the.
pick, you could argue if you move that down a little bit right here and get Aaron Rodgers or something like that down here versus
Oh
going
yeah,
Kyler right here, maybe you can get a Lockett or a
you got to
Woods
get a
or,
Robert Woods or Tyler
something
Lockett.
like
Yeah,
that.
CD Lamb around that spot or
Right.
something. Yeah, I,
Definitely. So just a
I'm
thought,
thinking. I'm thinking C. Yeah,
All
I'm just
right. So
thinking C
moving
in
on.
general because again, it's just too weak in wide receiver. It's just
Yeah.
way, you know what I mean? Like we just found the.
All right. So next we got the host of Get Right Fantasy here, Dustin's team. He's
Shoot.
drafting here at the 5 spot. We know he's big on Chubb. We know he's big on running backs early and often. And you can see that here with 3 running backs in a row. Chubb, Joe Money Mixon, and Miles Sanders
He's not
follows that
afraid
up.
to. He's not afraid to take running back
No,
heavy. I mean, look
that's
at
what
that.
we do. Look at that. That's a piece of work. And then when he goes 3 running backs, he's still following that up with Julio
Julio
Jones and
and
Keenan
Keenan
Allen,
Allen, and then
still
Dak.
number ones on their
That's
team.
solid
Then still
drafting, dude.
gets Dak.
Honestly, that's solid drafting, dude.
Right? Then
That is
gets Dak.
solid. I mean,
And
honestly,
then
because look at that. You got
and
3
then
running backs, 2 starting wide receivers, and you get Dak. Devontae Smith after that. Oh wow, yeah. I mean, look at that.
yeah,
Noah Fant for
nice
the
lot
tight
of
end. I mean, Noah
nice lot
Fant
of
is
ticket.
whatever at that point, but yeah,
He's big on him. He's big
yeah,
on
yeah,
him.
and he likes him. So hey,
Yep. He was upset when Pitts went this early. He really would like Pitts in that spot, I think. But he did good there. And then you could see he still got his 4th running back there, David Johnson, and then got
and
his
Zach
5th running
Moss.
back in Zach
That's an
Moss.
A. That's an A in my book. That's an
So
A.
again, this is why you tune in to
You
Get
got
Right
ended up
Fantasy.
5 running backs, and you could get these David Johnson or
two
Zach
wide
Moss or
receiver
trade
ones.
bait to get another wide receiver one or something, better tight end if he's hurting for tight
As
end
a
or whatever.
right.
Like, or
Nice
just keep
lotto
him.
ticket here.
Just yeah. I mean, like
Right.
David Johnson, come on, Zach
Yeah.
Moss,
And then so you
like
could tell he's just starting this draft off fantastic.
that's an A.
The rest of the 6 picks here, he's going to be grabbing even probably more running backs, more lotto tickets. So fantastic. I agree. A there. All
Yeah,
right.
I'd be happy with
So
that team.
moving on, we got this guy here who I guess removed himself from the draft, but he did draft this whole team. I was here during the whole draft. Started off with 2 solid running backs and Jonathan Taylor, who you have in your top 5, followed by Cam Akers, who I believe you have in your top 10, and followed by Justin Jefferson, who's also in your top 10, as well as Kevin Ridley, who I know is in my top 10. All right, so then it's followed up by Travis Etienne, nice lotto ticket running back pick there, very solid. So, 3 out of the first 5 picks were running backs. I like that. Got Josh Allen, who we both have as number 2, I believe, or maybe you moved him down just a bit. And with T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Javonte Williams, and Mike Gesicki here at the 10. So it's a pretty solid team. I definitely say B plus on
Yeah.
this.
I might even go with an A.
And
He'd
again,
A, but this guy left, so I mean,
yeah,
he's dropped down to a B just because of that.
yeah, he didn't leave his name in there. All right, so right here we got my team. Fantasy
You
roster.
got Kamara. Look at where you got Kamara at.
Yeah,
Wow.
Kamara dropped to me at 7. Then I had to go AJ Brown. You know how big I am on him right there.
Yeah, I mean, how would you not be happy with that, right?
Absolutely. Followed by Eckler and Carson. I got my one wide receiver, and then went running back strong right after that. Followed it up with Scary Terry.
Some wide receiver action. Yeah.
Yep, Scary Terry, Lockett, and then hit those running backs hard again with Raheem Mostert. This was actually an auto pick with Todd Gurley because I was traveling while this happened. But I would have actually probably taken Myles Gaskins right there instead of Gurley.
Yeah.
But I did get to pick Will Fuller down here, and then was able to snag Tom Brady at 10. And that's only because I needed to. I probably would have waited on a quarterback.
Maybe a little bit of one more time,
probably
one more
took
round.
The running back right there, to tell you the truth, but I had to get a quarterback.
And that takes guts to do that. But look at your team. Look at the wide receiver and running back depth that you created by waiting on that tight end of the quarterback. You know what I mean? But you didn't take a tight end, though. But you didn't take a tight end.
That.
So honestly, at the end of the day, that's going to be a little bit of fail on your part because, you know what I mean? Let's say you just play. No, it is because you gotta take at least a shot at some point in one of these guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like you kind of forgot to do that and you just noticed that, but it's a B for that.
Right. Well, yeah. So hear me out. There is plenty of more rounds that are going to come and happen. As you can see, I don't think Hunter Henry or Gianna Smith were off this board yet. So I still have both of them to target in the draft later on. And not to mention, my whole goal at tight end is to get one of these 3 guys. So I would be packaging these guys here, a Mostert and Lockett to try to get a Kittle, a Kelsey, or a Waller, and I'd just be hammering those trade offers all the first 2-3 weeks, as you know, like I do. And I got Kittle last year. He ended up getting hurt, but I got him. So that's my personal strategy, and we'll get into that more when we talk trades.
Yeah, I mean, and you're already expecting to do that. You're already comfortable with the fact, like you're saying, taking Jonnu Smith or Hunter Henry, which I'm surprised haven't been off the board at this point.
Yep.
But I get it. You have a different type of strategy, different mentality as to what you're going to be doing.
Right. And again, it's a little different. But for the sake of the draft, I think I did ask everybody to draft these specific positions. So in that case, it did fail, but I kind of just wanted to throw that out there for.
That's why I give you a B. So you get a B for them.
No, that gives me an A. Knowing
you didn't follow your own instructions, literally.
I did it for training purposes. All right, so for content purposes.
You just realized right now, I was 8 years old that I didn't draft a tight end.
But I didn't draft a tight end. But you know me, dude. I don't.
All right, moving on.
If you guys watch our tight end shows, you'll realize why I have no tight end in the first 10 rounds. Anyways, moving on. We digress. So next up here is another returning drafter, NYG guy, New York Giants guy, 95. He went with one of our favorite strategies here that typically this is where we say it happens, kind of around this, 7, 8, 9 pick. Who's gonna snatch that wide receiver first? As you can see in this draft, we'll kind of move this down here. All running backs went in the first round except for the number 8 pick, which was Tyreek Hill. So followed by Devontae Adams, then
which is
number 1.
Amazing that they just
right?
take Devontae Adams instead of like J.K. Dobbins or just in that section right there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Swift.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I was like, what? Devontae Adams? He went Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. So he got literally 1 and number 2,
RB.
and went 0 RB. Exactly. What a spot to do that.
Yeah. So then followed that up, kind of snuck in an RB1 in there with James Robinson, taking a leap of faith there.
Yeah, that was nice.
Follow that up by a top tight end who produces that wide receiver, top
number
end
wide numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I
especially for
like that.
PPR. He gets hella love.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. A lot of targets. Then went with Kareem Hunt, and with again in a PPR. This is actually a pretty solid, number 2 pick, which is why Frankie, you don't have Chubb, up in your top, because you feel Kareem Hunt's going to get a lot of play there, and
He
we know he
gets some
does get
numbers,
work in
yeah.
that passing game work. Followed by Bobby Trees, as we
Yeah.
like to call him, and DJ Chark. Maybe putting a lot of faith in that connection, but of course he's probably not seeing that lineup behind Hill, Adams, and Woods. So DJ Chark's there just to be there.
Yeah.
He did try to combo that up with Lawrence and Chark there. Then went with another rookie and
Gainwell.
Gainwell, and then followed that up with just a solid guy, Jarvis Landry. I don't think he'll do anything crazy. He may win you a week here and there. But overall, I'd probably say like maybe B minus, C plus. Probably more like probably a B. Just because of the 0 RB.
A little rough patch, but who knows? Hey, if some of
Yeah,
these guys pan out, he's looking pretty good, honestly.
yeah. So definitely solid B, I'd say. Moving on. We have I think this guy was a new drafter with us, Mikey Twergs, drafting in the 9 spot here. We have Aaron Jones, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 3 solid running backs. And again, this is why these running backs weren't available here. We had 2 people that went 3 running backs in a row, and I took 3 out of 4. So again, early and often, as we like to say here. Then still was able to get Godwin in his number 1 spot, who I have in my top 10. Took a leap of
Yeah,
faith
I
here with
like that
Jamar
spot.
Chase. Yeah, that's pretty good there in the 4-5, not bad. Took another leap of faith with Kyle
Kyle
Pitts,
Pitts,
going a
wow.
little young here, so still not bad. Cortland Sutton, coming back from injury there. And then I like this pick here with Chase Edmonds.
Chase
This
Edmonds,
is kind of
yeah,
one of my little sleeper guys, and we'll get into that
yeah.
more in our sleeper episode. But I think getting him here
I
down
like
here in
Chase
the 8th
Edmonds
is
as
really
also.
nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a gem right there at number 8. Are you kidding me for having that kind of running back there?
Yeah,
I'm surprised he fell that far to him. Honestly, I would have took him earlier above Cortland Sutton or something like that. And maybe another running back there, but Joe Burrow after that, and finishing it off with Deshaun Watson.
that's where it
It's
falls
kind of,
apart for me.
yeah, that's kind of a strange pick to be having at this point in time. Maybe he was just making a joke, but whatever, right?
Yeah,
So at that point, now we're gonna have to drop him down to B minus C
C.
range because of
Yeah,
Deshaun.
definitely.
Moving on.
All right, definitely. All right, so then we had a new drafter here in the 10 spot. Ben DP went with one of the top running backs left at the 10 spot with Zeke. Kind of shocking taking Mahomes here on the turn in a PPR league. I think he couldn't have waited. I don't think he would have lasted out of this round. So again, sometimes you just go get the guy you want when you want him. Went with Josh Jacobs here. Not really a fan with Kenyon Drake and the devastations of the line there. And what do you think about his wide receivers there?
I think that's where he liked out in the wide receiver range. Michael Thomas, that late 4th round,
Yeah,
and I was bringing back to our rankings, Anthony. As you can see, Allen Robinson went way earlier. Calvin Ridley and Chris Godwin, I think, fell too far also. But Michael Thomas, then DJ Moore, then coming around is excellent range. Then cap it off with Zach Ertz. I think it's looking pretty good.
yeah, not bad. And then finishing off with Odell, Ty. Probably didn't feel too happy about his Ertz, pick maybe here, and saw Hawkinson was still available, swooped him up, and then took a shot with AJ Green. We'll see what happens. Maybe he was just kind of out there in Cincinnati and just kind of checked out last year. Maybe he's re-energized here under new offense, playing in some nice weather here in Arizona. Here on the West Coast, and maybe might put some life back into him. We'll see if we
Yeah,
can get a
he's
reemergence of AJ Green with Kyler.
yeah. I don't know. I would have went with the running back, and I mean, having only 2 running backs, he's just.
So,
I'd be uncomfortable with the team personally because I like more running backs, as you do, and just having 2 on your team that you drafted just feels like you don't have enough pieces there that he could trade away to even get a good running back or a top running back that you'd be happy with in case something happens with these guys. I would just
Right.
personally have been more comfortable. Like I think that Zach Ertz is the pick. Really, I mean, it's not that bad of a spot, but honestly, I would have took a running back.
Yeah, he could
You
have
know,
got
just
Mostert there.
you could have
He could
got
have
Hawkinson
got
where he got him, and maybe Carnt down
Edmonds.
there way later.
Yeah, Gaskins.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of running backs
yeah,
that
a
he could
couple
have
guys
taken over
there.
there.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
and just because you only have two running backs, period, on the whole team is a C to me. I mean, you need
Yeah,
to have more running backs, period, more than two.
absolutely. As far as what we feel, as far as the draft, and our drafting types, definitely round that off with the C. So again, this was a fun draft here. Shout out, to all the guys that joined us. Thank you again. It was real fun. This was our Friday night mocks. Stay tuned. We were able to do another draft after this. We expanded to 12 teams because we had so many people waiting and responding to our Twitter, and wanting to
Yeah, so if you
jump
want to get
into it.
in, comment down below, get in on Twitter, comment there, and if there's more than 10, 12 guys, we'll open up a second draft and bring another 10 guys. The whole point of this is to, get those mock drafts in with a variety of people to see how people draft and really get a feel for what's going to happen, especially right now before the NFL draft actually happens.
Definitely. And of course, this is all going to change as we know where people start, landing. Again, this is just the best we're doing with the information we have now. So it's definitely a lot of fun. We like it. We love the engagement. We love the interaction with you guys. So unless there's anything else, Frankie,
Oh man,
let's
thanks for
let's
having
break
us.
down
Thanks
this
for
next
watching.
draft.
Yeah, peace out, guys.
Let's do it.